Hi everybody and welcome to the second video. So in this video I'm going to talk about TCL and TK. Let's get started with TCL. TCL stands for Tool Command Language, and this language appeared during 1998, and at that time it seems that every programmer wanted to create a programming language of their own. So it was a scripting language developed by John Osterhout. It was invented by John. He came up with this tool command language, and this tool command language is very similar to what we know as Python as today. These two languages are completely different languages. I'm just saying it in the way that, like how Python is interpreted, a similar way TCL language is interpreted. So when you look at the timeline, TCL seems to be appearing a way before Python came up. So it was available even before Python. And unlike Python, it satisfied embedded programming on many applications. So Python, you do some Python coding on various applications and you could get the results, right? So this scripting gives you an interface so that you don't have to mess up with the backend programming languages. For example, you don't have to know C++ to use TCL language. So TCL, as I told you, it's interpreted, and various interpreters are available for all the platforms. So you have interpreters for Windows, Macs, Linux, and even lots of other operating systems, BSD and so on. So you could find more information about TCL at this website www.tcl.tk. You can find the latest version of TCL, but just don't download that version, because here we are about to do a network simulation. A network simulation requires a lot of softwares, so we just need a particular version of TCL, and I'm going to make the software available in the video description so that you people can download that and work on it. Just don't download TCL from this website. So if you're a person who is looking to just download TCL, just go ahead with this website. It gives you the latest version of TCL and TK. And if you wanted to know about how TCL is licensed, TCL uses a BSD license style, and it's open source. There are lots of open source licenses, and BSD is one of them, and this TCL uses a licensing which is very similar to BSD. You can look at the source, you could contribute to the source, and just like uh, just like any other open source software, you could just add your email address to a mailing list and you will get a regular mailing. And if you really like contributing, you can contribute to TCL language. So now let's talk about TK. So TK, I really don't know what TK stands for. It was just written to give an extension to tool command language. So way before, it was all command line interface. What do you do? You run some commands using command line interface. In Linux, you could find terminals, and you write some program names to get your work. You write some commands to get your work done. So in the similar way, TCL, you do some commands in the interpreter, you get your work done. So as days passed, GUI idea came up, and TK was an extension to tool command language. It gives the GUI framework for the tool command language. So TK is a GUI framework written for the tool command language. So just like TCL, TK is interpreted, and uh, just like TCL, TK is interpreted, and interpreters are available for all the platforms. Stands as a GUI framework for most of the programming languages available. So TK supports various programming languages. It has bindings for those various programming languages to support it. So you could write a graphical user application using TK using Python. So that is possible. Even with Perl it is available, and even bindings for lots of other languages are available. So we are going to use this tool command language along with TK to get our network simulation done. And so before we close up with this session, I just want to talk about a program called Wish program, and it's nothing but windowing shell. It gives a GUI interface to the TCL interpreter. So you could say it as it gives a GUI interface for TCL with support over TK. So you could just double click this Wish program and just start typing your TCL programs. Alright, the next video let's look at how this TCL, how can you write this TCL scripts and how easy it is. See you guys in the next video. Bye from Cool Intrasta.